Thanksgiving is 1 week from today, but many are already online shopping and on the ground for Christmas. Joining us today on how to prevent holiday overspending in our treat yourself culture is Dr. Carla Ivankovich, founder and CEO of One Patient Global Health Initiative. Doctor, welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
So my first question from your experience, is emotional spending and treat yourself culture more prevalent now, or has this phenomenon always existed?
I think it's always existed, but it is definitely more prevalent now than what we've seen in the past. We call this the little treats culture, who is very interested in ensuring that they celebrate their little wins or their bad days with celebration treats that they can buy themselves. And because of that fear of missing out or not having the kinds of things that they think other people have, they're much more likely to spend.
So can you give an example on how this shows up in people's lives on their day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day basis, absolutely. I mean, one of the things you can talk about is that recent Starbucks Little Bear glass that they put out for everybody. And what we saw with that is people search for things that they perceive being scarce. And because of that, they have this fear of missing out, of not being able to get it, not being in the in crowd. So they'll go to great lengths to buy things that they didn't know they needed the day before it was announced, but then all of a sudden they do. And another example would definitely be throughout the holidays, trying to spend a little bit more than you would otherwise have available maybe in your bank account, utilizing credit cards to spend for the ability to say that you were the one who bought that gift for somebody.
How has social media exacerbated this culture, especially with a barista Starbucks cup?
Absolutely. I think, again, that fear of missing out, it's the desire to want to be in the in crowd. And where do you find the in crowd today? You find it on social media. You find it in your peers. When you log into their feeds, instantly you're seeing what everyone else has. And we want to be a part of that. It isn't like the past where you might have had to have gone to school or to work to see what somebody had gotten that's new. Now, all you have to do is log on. That's 24/7 access.
So in the face of this social media crisis we're having, and with TikTok spending and on Instagram, what are your tips to save ourselves from emotional spending during this holiday season when we see these kinds of promotions on social media?
I think the very first thing you have to do is, before the holidays get here, immediately sit down and create a budget. And this doesn't just mean a budget for the gifts you're going to give, but also the food that you're going to buy, the spread that you will have. Have a realistic budget and decide what you can spend without going into debt. And then ask yourself, not everybody's love language is gifts. Are there things that you can do that are experiences with people that don't cost as much? But you have to put into perspective that overspending can cause realistic trauma towards the beginning of the year. It can cause buyer's remorse. It can cause regret, leading to depression and financial downfall.
So what sort of items should we watch out for when perusing store shelves?
I think it's important to look for the end caps. I think it's important to look for those better than yesterday deals, and to make sure that the things you're buying are things that you've researched, especially if they're big ticket items. And you can think back to Black Fridays of the past, or even the Beanie Baby craze, and how all of a sudden a sale makes it feel like you want to buy that, or being with a group of friends and family shopping make you happy, giddy to the point that you're willing to spend more. So make sure that you're spending because it's something that's necessary or that's on your list, not because it's an emotional purchase.
During the holidays, emotional purchases are hard to not give into, especially during Christmas, when all we think about is what do we want instead of what do we need. What is your tips especially for Christmas?
First things first, create that budget. make sure you stick to that budget. Make sure there's a list of what you're looking for. And every item that you pick up, that you touch, that you feel, remind yourself that, is this a want or a need? Is this on my list, or is this something I need to put back and consider for a later date and time when maybe I might have more money and less people to purchase for?
Dr. Carla, great tips. Thanks for having you here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.